Doncaster Rovers Football Club is a professional association football club based in Doncaster, South Yorkshire, England. The team compete in League 2, the fourth tier of English Football League system. The club plays their home games at Echo Power Stadium, having moved from Bellevue in 2007. Their home stripe consists of red and white hoops, which has been the main design of the club's home shirts since 2001 through different variations. The club was formed in 1879 by Albert Jenkins, a fitter at Doncaster Great North Railway Works. He gathered together some friends to play a match against the Yorkshire Institute for the Deaf and Dumb in September 1879. The Institute side took a 4-0 lead, but the game ended a 4-4 draw. On walking back from the game, the team took a rest at the Hull Cross and had a discussion in which they decided to play more and call themselves Doncaster Rovers. The first match under the name was on that October in 1879, a draw away against Romash. The club turned professional in 1885. Gradually, they became the main team in the town. 1885 to 1915 intake grounds. For the first 6 years, the club began playing the games wherever they could, on playfields at Townmoor and Rescos. They gained a permanent ground in 1885 when they started playing their games near the Institute for the Deaf and Dumb, and so was known as Deaf and Dumb Grounds. A year later, the stadium was officially named as the Intake Ground. A few months after completion, the roof blew off the stand, and the same happened in 1894 on the press and team officials stand after a gale. They played their football there until August 1914, when the club went into liquidation. A new company did take over the club soon after, but all English League's competition was suspended in 1915 due to the First World War, and the club was closed down, and the ground turned into an army depot. When the club was reformed after the war in the summer of 1919, the army were still occupying the old Intake Ground as a depot. They had wanted to move to the lower pastures, but restrictions set by the local council meant that this was not a viable option. The club did not join the Midlands League until 1920s to 1921. And as a temporary solution, a field was found on the south side of Benethorpe, for which they were given a 2-year lease. On the first day of the second season there, in the Midland League, the Benethorpe ground saw 7,219 people watch Rovers against Gainsborough Trinity. With council restrictions on the 6 acres low pasture site having been negotiated, the club moved there for the beginning of the 1922-1923 season. Large amount of ash from nearby coal tips was laid as a base for the pitch, serving it well throughout its years of use with superb drainage. Initially, there was a stand for 4,000 seated fans, with terracing in front of another 3,000. The ground had a unique feature in that home and away team had separate entrances. The stadium was opened in 1922 by Charles Sutcliffe, a representative of Football League, when it was named Bellevue. The first match there was against Gainsborough Trinity in Midland League with an attendance of 10,000. After 2 years, shelter was added for standing spectators on our popular side. A few years later, in 1927, the stand from Benethorpe Ground was jacked up and moved to a new venue, providing a shelter stand at the town end. Following the Bradford City fire disaster in 1985, the wooden cowshed, as the old Benethorpe stand was known, had to be removed for safety reasons. Mining subsidence in 1987 meant much of the pop side was removed, drastically reducing the ground capacity to around 10,000. Further safety conditions imposed after the Hillsborough disaster led to capacity to fall to 7,294. The idea of the Rovers moving away from Bellevue and into a new purpose-built stadium had been discussed as early in the mid-1980s. Following the 1985 Bradford fire tragedy, sports grounds were required by the government to meet increasingly stringent safety requirements. Several clubs began the process of selling their current grounds to move into new stadium. Rovers' problem was that they leased Bellevue from Doncaster Council, and since the club did not have the money required to build the stadium on their own, they would need money from the sale of Bellevue, which was not theirs to sell. The council was reluctant to approve the change of land use that would enable the Bellevue site to be developed for non-sporting purposes and to spend ratepayers' money on supporting a private club. Rovers' promotion to the Football League in 2003 and subsequent Division 3 title win put the question of a new stadium firmly back on the agenda. In the summer of 2004, the council, led by elected Mayor Martin Winter, had approved plans for Rovers to move to a new community stadium in the lakeside area. To be home for Rovers, Doncaster Rugby League and Doncaster Bells. To reflect Rovers' upwardly mobile status, the capacity will be 50,000. In September 2005, the contract to build the stadium was awarded and work started a month later. The stadium was ready for use by January 2007. Midway through 2006 and 2007 season. In November 2006, local building company Keepmoat plc secured the naming rights of the stadium. Although the Dons had the honor of staging the first match at the stadium against Sheffield Eagles on 27 December 2006. Rovers' opening game a few days later really captured the locals' public interest. A crowd of 14,470 saw Rovers beat Huddersfield Town 3-0 in 1st January 2007, with Mark scoring stadium's first goal after 9 minutes. The capacity of the stadium is officially 15,231 and the cost of the stadium itself was approximately £20 million. The cost of overall stadium complex, including the athletic stadium and the football pitches, was approximately £32 million. The official opening took place on that August 2007 when Rovers hosted Manchester United, who won 2-0 in front of a crowd of 13,080. Originally, the stadium was run by a stadium management company which was responsible to the council as the owners of the stadium. However, some of the other events held at the stadium, including concerts, were not a financial success. As a result, in June 2012, it was confirmed that Rovers had secured a 99 years operation lease to lead the management of the stadium. On the 27th December 2021, the stadium ended its 15 years association with Keepmoat Homes and was renamed the Echo Power Stadium.